It's almost 52 years old.
Yeah, almost.
Coffee's here.
Okay, Bilal, I have a question for you. And a fair warning, it's an unusual question given the surroundings. I mean, look how beautiful it is.
It is.
Anyway, here goes. What do you think is common between the Chandrayaan space probe, the Golden Quadrilateral Road Network, and the metro railways?
I'm really not sure where you're going with this one.
Okay, these are some of the biggest milestones amongst many others that have shaped and influenced India the most in the last 25 years.
If you look at it like that, that's true. I was thinking something different. Like, can you tell what has also advanced in the last 25 years?
I don't know, maybe mobile internet? I don't know.
Well, I can give you that, but I was thinking more of the auto industry. Now look
yeah.
at the cars we are driving today
Yeah.
compared to the cars we drove 25 years ago. As an owner of a 25-year-old car,
Yeah.
and you drove an Alcazar from Delhi to Bombay.
Yeah, I drove it just last week.
How was the experience?
It was absolutely comfortable. Like, it was a long journey and I was on my own, but I didn't feel a thing. I wasn't tired at all. Like, it kept me in total comfort the entire time.
Undoubtedly. Maybe that's the reason you chose it as a chariot for an epic road trip from Bombay to Bangalore.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly why I chose it, because it's super comfortable and I know we'll have a lot of fun. So we better finish our coffee and let's get to it.
Let's hit the road.
Yeah, cheers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we started off Hyundai's Great Indian Drive with the new Alcazar. Okay, wait. Let's backtrack to the real starting point of the Great Indian Drive 5.0, and it's this incredible facility called the Center of Transformation at Hyundai India's corporate headquarters near Delhi. Here, we got a glimpse of what the brand's future may look like for the Indian market. Courtesy of this very edgy looking EV called Ioniq 5, which, as you can see, has taken the pride of place at the Center of Transformation. Now, speaking of transformation, Hyundai India has come a long way when you look at the brand's humble beginnings with the Santro back in 1998. Since then, Hyundai India has only grown greatly and is now at a stage where it's not just known as a maker of aspirational cars, but also a brand with the most number of successful SUVs in its lineup. The newest of which is the Alcazar, and we are glad to have this premium 3-row SUV with us on this journey to explore stories of people and growth sectors that are currently playing a big role in shaping up our country the right way.
Let me just turn on this cool seats for now.
Oh yeah, thanks. I almost forgot. Like, even though it's dark outside, the sun is down and yet it's still warm. So yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
So we're headed to Bangalore right now, but where exactly in Bangalore?
Yeah, so we are headed towards this place called Electronic City, and right now we are 800 kilometers from it. And Bangalore, because as you and I know, it's a city filled with aspiring startups and huge multinational companies.
True. Actually, Bangalore has always been in a forefront with this IT culture, and many multinational companies have come up there. Yeah. And many friends I know, they are either already in Bangalore or they want to be there.
Correct, absolutely. And speaking of friends, somebody I know can vouch for it more than you and I. She is somebody who knows the startup culture inside out, and I'm hoping that we get to learn a thing or two about how these startup brands and even the big companies, how they're established and how they function, and more importantly, how they are developed with time. So let's see how it goes.
Wow, so that would be fun.
Hey, hi Pulsmita. How are you?
So nice to meet you. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, let's start this.
Now, it's no secret that the 21st century is IT driven, and India is widely considered to be the knowledge powerhouse that's full of young people with bright ideas. And here we have Fulsmitha, who has been part of the startup culture for many years, and she's someone who has a lot of crucial things to share.
So, can you tell us more about what you do and how important a brand like DGraph Labs is for budding entrepreneurs and developers?
It's been 8 long years my journey with startups. I help startups grow in terms of business operations and in terms of people operations.
What kind of social impact do you think your brand has?
To answer that, I think DGraph in a way has two kinds of social impact. One is for the developer community and the other one is for the customers. Okay. Why I say social impact for the developer community? Because DGraph foremost is an open source tool. Okay. If they feel this is not going to work, they can come and they can comment on that.
Now, app development has been such a huge thing in the IT world, like it has a huge impact. Do you think it has slowed down in the last couple of years because of pandemic and the after effects of the second wave? Like, do you see any impact on your line of work?
Well, not really. If you ask me, I have seen a lot of growth in terms of IT.
Okay.
Right, because of the pandemic, it has forced people to sit at home and use the utmost possible IT tools we can do, because everybody is working out of home, right?
So, what's that one piece of advice that you would like to give to budding entrepreneurs or like whoever's like starting out and who wants to make it big?
One piece of advice.
To like.
Can I go with 3?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
First is know and believe what you are doing.
Okay.
Right. You should really know what is the thing, what is the product you are building, what is the service you are going to give. Okay. And believe in it. Believe means it should be your core.
Correct.
Okay. The second piece of advice would be always work on your strength. Okay. Because that is what is going to take you higher. And always work with your team. Your team is very important, super important, because people come first after that product. That's what I believe. If you have a great set of team, you can build an amazing product. Okay. And if this two aligns, you have the money flowing. Okay. The third and very important piece of advice is be consumer centric. Your consumers are everything. They are the king, they are the god. Be consumer centric. Whatever you are developing, whatever you are doing, think about them first and then and then go for it. Everything else will follow.
Thank you so much for featuring in our video and for all those insights. I'm sure our viewers would find them very, very informative and helpful. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Sagar, for having me.
So there you have it. The future of tech and e-commerce services belongs to young, innovative entrepreneurs. Now, speaking of innovation, the Alcazar feels at home within the innovative surroundings of Bangalore with its modern equipment like the 360-degree parking camera, a fully digital cluster, and a host of features linked to the connected car tech.
Hi Bilal.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So, how was the conversation with Fulsmitha?
Oh man, it was really good, really insightful. Got to learn a few things about how the startup culture and the IT industry is adapting to these ever-changing and very difficult times. So yeah, like enlightening overall, and we had a lot of fun, and it was comfortable in the back of the Alcazar.
But I've got another industry, I would say, that has evolved so much over the last 25 years.
Yeah. Okay. What is it?
Well, you know what? I'll let the Alcazar and its brilliant Bose music system do the talking.
Okay.
Where the growth of corporate has been vital to India's development in many ways, there's one more industry that has taken a tremendous leap towards modernity. So to talk about music and its development in recent years, especially indie music, we are back in Bombay to have a conversation with Chirayu. Our viewers might be familiar with a few independent songs from the 90s, and recent songs of our era as well. Chirayu has known the indie music scene for a decade and a half. He is part of two indie bands, Agni and Sharmas and the Besharams. So Chirayu, tell us more about you and your band.
Well, I play the bass guitar and I have a couple of bands of my own. I play with this rock band named Agni.
Ooh.
And I have another band of my own called Sharma and the Besharams.
Nice.
Yeah, it's that one is fronted by this friend of mine named Vasudha Sharma,
Okay.
and we just did like a little word play. So
Right.
she
It
is
sounds
Sharma
nice, yeah.
and the Besharams.
And
Yeah,
the Besharams. Nice.
and otherwise I also play with a few Bollywood artists.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I play with guys like Tony Kakkar and a little bit of Jubilee Nautiyal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
great, great. So, like coming back from Bangalore with Sagar, I was enjoying the music in the car.
Uh-huh.
And as Sagar has pointed out in the first half in the video, that corporate has evolved so much in the last few years. And I believe that music has also been an integral part. And
Definitely.
And it has changed drastically. Like I find myself going back to the good old 90s indie pop.
Right.
And they still are very soothing to hear and way better than the mainstream Bollywood music is what I believe.
Right.
What do you think is the new indie scene right now, the newer generation of singers coming up?
Well, if you ask me about indie music, I would say it has forever been evolving. All right. The listeners have been evolving as well. Like stuff that you would listen to, or stuff that people would be making back in the 90s or early 2000s.
Right.
The audiences were different. They are different, a lot different now, and independent bands have a lot more platforms now with the advent of the internet and all your streaming services.
Right.
Yeah, and also your music festivals. Now you have to really discount the part.
Which
you know,
wasn't there before, the indie music artists
exactly. Yeah,
earlier.
I mean, there used to be clubs.
Then talking about the audience, like some of the bands or the artists of the indie gen, they have very selective users, selective listeners, I would say.
Right.
So what do you think, like should the music, the indie music, it should be limited to those select few, or it should be more mainstream so that these artists get better exposure?
Yeah, definitely.
So what's the better option of it?
The latter, definitely. I mean, see, at the end of the day, everyone, you're not just doing it as a hobby, really.
Right.
It's a form of expression, all right? You want it to reach out to a lot more people, a lot more ears.
Or the lockdown has affected this industry?
Oh man, it affected us like it was not nice. It was not nice.
You couldn't go out, you couldn't get together to play.
Oh well, I personally I don't mind not getting out. Like you could lock me in a room and I can live there as long as I get to eat.
And play
But-
your music as
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
Absolutely. So it really affects us pretty hard.
But to be honest, in the lockdown, again, working from home, I've found newer bands, newer artists. I've got exposure to them and I've started listening to their entire...
Definitely. The good thing about lockdowns was that a new division of work also started for musicians.
Right.
Virtual gigs.
Absolutely, yeah.
People started doing virtual shows and concerts, and it was a pleasant surprise to see that people actually accepted it in a very positive manner.
Hello, Sagar.
Hey man, where are you?
We are just cruising down on some beautiful roads in Bombay, talking about music with Chirayu and just hanging out. Also checking out the sport mode in the Alcazar.
Oh yeah, that's correct. Like the sport mode in the Alcazar, it actually makes a difference with the way it drives, right?
A huge difference. The eco mode and the sport mode, they just transform the way the Alcazar drives.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, but Bilal, you gotta come check out and see what I'm currently driving to to like really get a feel of what a sporty driving experience can be.
When can we experience this now?
Listen, I've shared a location with you. It's on your phone, and come see me there at the break of dawn tomorrow.
Absolutely then.
Also, I would suggest please skip your breakfast because it's gonna be a wild ride, and I don't really want to mess up the interior of this thing because of you.
What are you saying?
Okay, bye, I'll see you. Okay, I suspect Bilal thinks it's the standard i20 turbo, but it's not. It's actually the i20 N-line, the real deal. And I know it looks a little vibrant in this very like flashy shade of blue, and you have these red accents that gives it a very boy racerish charm. And to be honest, I absolutely love it, and I cannot wait for Bilal to come check this out.
So I reached the location you sent me and you kept me waiting. But this was definitely worth the wait.
It was, wasn't it? Like I told you, it'll be a special car, right?
And I heard your arrival, like before you came, the throaty exhaust from the i20 N-line. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's got that right amount of tuner noise. Like, you know, there's something special under the hood, and it's not really like obnoxiously loud. That's what you want from your daily driver that you want to have fun with occasionally.
And the car being inspired by the motorsport.
Yeah, like the most surprising bit is that you and I could go to a Hyundai showroom today and buy a car that's actually inspired from motorsports. Like a decade or so ago, you wouldn't think that would be possible, but now it's just that the motorsport scene has picked up so much.
Exactly, Indian motorsport is growing so much by each passing year.
Yeah, like you have like motorsport specific track days happening. You have gymkhanas, you have time attack racing events happening.
One make series.
Everybody has stepped up their game, and everybody wants a slice of this action really. And Hyundai India is among is right on the top when it comes to offering a motorsport inspired car.
Absolutely, like I couldn't imagine a sportier hatchback that's more fun than this.
Yeah, like for the money, you can't go wrong, like really. So the other thing that I really like about the i20 N-line is that it's properly bespoke. Like Hyundai actually appointed a bunch of people to develop this car for enthusiasts like us.
Now, at this point, we are having way too much fun, and rightly so. The i20 N-line feels cracking from the moment you climb inside it. It all feels so modern and deeply sporty at the same time, and because it's an i20 after all, this performance hatch is a proper jack of all trades. It's a comfy daily driver that's purpose-built to put a huge smile on your face every time you take it to your favorite set of roads.
So Bilal, it's the end of the day and the end of our great India Drive journey with the Alcazar and the i20 N-line.
Absolutely.
So how do you feel? Like, it's been a few days since we left for Bangalore in this very car, and if you ask me, I feel like I've suddenly become a wise person. So how do you feel?
That's true, like traveling in the Alcazar, going to newer places, meeting interesting people, gaining so much newer knowledge. And all of this has been possible because of the development in our nations in the last 25 years. And Hyundai India has played a major role, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And if you think about it, it hasn't really taken them so long to become one of India's biggest car makers. And you can only imagine how things are going to be like for Hyundai India in the next 25 years.
Next 25 years then.
Yeah, like
there would be EVs and self-driving cars then.
Electric cars for sure, and we might even have self-driving cars by then.
Well, that's the way forward, right?
Yeah, like I'm okay with EVs, honestly, but to be really honest, I'm not so sure about self-driving cars. I mean, just give me that. I'll take control of my cars till I can. So,
Okay.
yeah, that's how it's gonna be. That's it.
Absolutely. Just go and drive.
Yeah.